It also helps to unmute my mic. So there we go. Now we are going live, where they're going to down select their missions here. And yeah, it seems as though we had a bit of a mix-up where AG's list was having a little bit of issues loading. So it took a little bit of time, but finally everything worked out, and we're here now. So now the players are deciding down as to what they want to do for the battlefield, and we'll let them do that as I queue up a little bit of a soundtrack for now. There we go. Alright, I'll move my mic so that way it's right up in front of me. There we go. Have ourselves a nice, lovely conversation about Legion. Alright, so first elimination was Long March. Didn't want to do the sniper battle here. Oh, and they ended up going with what they had here. We have Vaporators, Positions, and Minefields, so I need to update. And we are on Kessel. Alright, so I will need to go ahead and update the little stream thing here with this information. Kessel, and they are doing Vaporators. We'll just call it Sabotage. They're doing Advanced Positions, which is interesting. Advance or Advanced? It is Advanced. And then Minefields. So, not much of an update there. Positions. Sabotage Vapes. And done. We'll adjust this guy. There we go. Alright, and then we need to redo this because AG is actually blue. So let me go and take care of that while they play around with setting things up. And then change this guy to blue. Sure, we'll just go with the defaults. That works. Alright, and there we go. Back to live. So we can see what's going on. And I think we are good to go. So Groggy Dog coming in before we actually started the stream, saying, can't say, but go Sploosh. US 10 for life. So clearly we have a little bit of feedback, but clearly we have a fan there. Try and keep my peaks down a bit. There we go. Alright, so Groggy Dog clearly a fan of Sploosh. We can check out real quick how the bracket has this match rated. If I quickly go over to it, challenge. We see I need to log in, apparently. There we go. Logged in. Alright, so currently we have Sploosh sitting at a whopping 19 votes to 5. So roughly 80 to 20 in favor of at least the fan picks for Sploosh. But we'll see how that works out. So as for the lists, we can go over them while they set up the Vaporators. Currently we have one going down over here by AG, making it nice and easy in a little position where he can easily get around and have great cover, as nothing can really see him unless it comes around through this bend. Sploosh putting one behind, apparently attached to Veers, behind some crates over here, and then another one by AG over here next to some crates where he can easily get in contact and keep in cover and have a lot of guys be hidden. However, that one will be in the open of any units deployed over here. Speaking of, while we wait for them to place their last one, we'll start with AG first. He is bringing the Death Trooper list. He's bringing Krennic, who's naked. He's bringing Boba Fett with Hunter and E-Stims, typical loadout for Boba Fett. We're going to see as well a group of snowtroopers with recon, frags, and flame, the typical loadout with a little bit of extras this time. Can't see the map? Oh, it hasn't loaded. That's weird. It seems like this has frozen. Good, thank you for that, by the way. I will go over to the editor, and we will edit this guy. I'll remove it, and then we'll reload it. Apparently it is not wanting to load, so we're going to do a window capture. Sure, we'll do window capture. We'll see if that works. There we go. Oh no, still doesn't want to work. That's weird. Interesting. Alright. So we're going to have to do a little bit of troubleshooting here real quick, because that source doesn't want to work. So let's see about including a different source. Does that want to work? It does not. Interesting. So I will quickly see about relaunching this. Because apparently we're having technical difficulties with it launching. Alright, so we'll actually relaunch Tabletop Sim entirely. Thank you, Hoff, by the way, for alerting me to that. I didn't even know it. Working as quick as I can. Interesting. This is very interesting. Alright, well, I'm gonna try and fix this, so hang tight. This is weird that this is not working. Worst comes to worst, we'll just do window capture. Or, I'm sorry, source, rather. Display capture. Monitor 1. There we go, that'll work. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for covering in the meantime. Oh, we have some snows moving up to capture, or some troopers moving up to capture the Vaporator early, using their recon. These guys here. Oh, that's weird. Okay. They don't have recon, but somehow they detonated the mine and were placed out of command. So let's see. Interesting. Anyway, well, now that we got everything back up, we'll go through the list. Looks like another movement here from Sploosh to try and take this territory. Go back to live. Alright, trying to detonate the mine. He detonates it once, 2 come in. 1 hit, 2 hits, 1 is saved, another is not. So another trooper lost pre-game to some mines. Already off to bad starts with both trooper units, or both sides taking some heavy losses already with the mines being deployed, or being deployed into some mines. Alright, so while they're continuing their setup, which of course the mines are placed right next to each of the objectives, I'm gonna go ahead and flip around and take a look at the lists. So, we have Krennic, followed by Boba Fett with Hunter and Stim, so typical. We have Flame Troopers here. They have Recon as well as Flame and Frag, typical Snow Troopers there with a little bit of extra. We have a DLT squad with a medic, a DLT squad that apparently took 3 wounds, probably from the mine double exploding and some poor saves, perhaps. We have another medic squad being deployed right behind them. The Death Trooper squad with Recon, DLT, Comms Relay, and the Configuration Rifle. We have 3 sets of snipers, rounding out AG's list. On the opposite side of the board, as they're continuing to deploy, we have Veers with Improvised Orders, Boba Fett completely naked, Bosk with Hunter, Stormtroopers with the DLT, another set of Stormtroopers with the DLT, a third set of Stormtroopers with DLT, and finally another set of Stormtroopers with a medic, followed by a singular naked Stormtrooper squad. And then again, 3 snipers as part of the usual for the meta. Now, let's try and recap what happened here. So we had a DLT squad move out and up, and they took an explosion from the mine. Unfortunately, I was out of game when that happened, trying to reload and see why that the game didn't want to display properly, but everything's working now, so minor bit of loss there. Looks like these snows are going to activate with their recon intel and likely move up to get in position for this Vaporator, as well as detonating this mine in the process. Hoff thinking that these snows are going to get suppressed right off the table. Depending on where the HQ unit is placed, it is very likely, especially if this landmine goes off. If it goes off twice, they're in trouble. And here we go. It does go off. Singular time, though. Just a hit, but still suppression on them before the game even starts. And Snow Troopers taking a wound as well. Before the game even gets going, we see 3-4 now losses totaling up on AG's side just from the landmines alone. Crazy how that's working. Really bad pre-game luck there. However, with how the Vaporators are set up, this one is relatively secure. Anything that wants to help contest it will have to come through this pass, in which the snowtroopers will be able to really deal some heavy damage to them with the flame and frags. However, with already suppression on them, that doesn't bode too well. This Vaporator here, its landmine already cleared as well, trying to be captured by the DLT squad. Of course, looks like double explosion with losing 3 people, so rolling well below average for that one. That will be able to be captured, however, it'll be exposed to fire from anyone who deploys right about here, who would be the ones to eventually go and take this Vaporator. Now, onto the other side of the board, we've got the purple troops here. They moved up to attempt to detonate this mine. They did, and they took a loss here. However, in doing so, they are in a very nice safe position behind this crate, ready to swing around next turn and take this objective. Yellow troopers being deployed over here, likely to get lines of sight on some things. I don't believe that's where he wants to have them be placed in the end, but that is where they currently are. As well as Bosk apparently being deployed early behind the rocks here. Snipers being placed, looks like they're going to be placed up on top of this rock feature within the deployment zone, and they'll probably just recon move a little bit to space out. But they're going to have great shots down into the deployment zone over here. However, they will suffer from the ability to get sniped back because they no longer have one of their troopers hidden behind things. They're both exposed to either maximum firepower, as Hoff just pointed out, or additionally return fire from snipers, where one of the snipers can be safe behind something, exposing these two to being hit without any chance of recovering the unit. Beer's being deployed right away. Looks like he will have immediate lines of sight to those 2 snipers up top. And Sploosh verifying his command range. Not too sure about the one stormtrooper there, but it is what it is. Looks like a medic group being deployed along with the DLT near the snowtroopers to probably reinforce as well as heal them back up pre-game. So that way to attempt to take care of anything that's going to roll through this little crevice or gap in the hills. Having range there to back up the snowtroopers will ensure that they will certainly be able to capture that objective and make sure that all the points stay on it. Doing their recon move. Looks like they're just charging ahead slightly, getting into a position where they can see right into the deployment, well, not necessarily the deployment, but any movement area that Red will have coming out of there. Alright, deploying them all out. Alright, on to Sploosh's next deployment. Alright, placing snipers, he's going to put them in a little bit of a conservative position, where one sniper will have some pretty good vantage points, and the other sniper likely trying to be fully hidden behind some cover. Changing actually the location. Looks like some debate is happening as to what is going on. Alright, looks like he decided instead to go with stormtroopers. Of course, they are going to be recon moving towards the Vaporator over on this side of the cliff, securing that. Pull up the right Discord here, so I know what I'm looking for here. I need to go and hop in a room, because I'm going to have a co-host with me. There we go. Alright, now I'm in a room. Everything should be good. Alright, so mine's detonating. On red, looks like 2 hits, and 2 saves are made, so simply a suppression. Ooh, looks like a double detonation with 2 more being applied, this time as well 2 saves, so double suppression put on these troopers before the game even starts. Thankfully, though, they do not take the losses like they had like the opposing side had taken. That is actually a very lucky start for the red stormtroopers down here. Alright, back to AG. We're going to see him choose a new unit to deploy. And it looks as though he's going with the Death Troopers. Looking to likely place them behind the medic, so that way the medic can benefit them. Alright, Hoff, I'll see you when you get back. Looks like they're going to deploy and potentially move up this hill, getting themselves in a position where they can fire pretty much right into the deployment zone, or to cover any avenues and potentially objectives. But it looks like instead they're moving to take cover behind this crate instead, lining up for early shots on the red squad, who already have 2 suppression, so likely going to try and activate early to attempt to load them up with suppression and potentially have them run off the board turn 1. Alright. Death Troopers are set. Now we're going back to Sploosh for his placement of some snipers. Will he put them back in the cargo pallet like originally planned? And it looks like maybe is the answer there. Or will he place them behind this rock formation, gaining potential cover? Alright, looking like he will use the pallet. He will attempt to, well, still debating it, apparently. Ah, so he's going to deploy them and move them up behind these cargo crates to attempt to get some cover and completely obscure his spotter model, so as to prevent that sniper unit from being taken out in a singular round of fire. That way, no matter what happens, the sniper will always be able to move to where the spotter is when he's killed, versus where these two are at risk. Alright, so next up we see another sniper unit be deployed from AG. Where will he put him? A good position might be actually to put them, I guess, one poking out right here wouldn't be too terrible. That way he can see this Vaporator, he can see into the deployment zone, but I think that will eventually become kind of worthless. If he deploys him back far enough, he could also have him have line of sight down this alley here. That might be an option. Oh, and I am joined by Stevens. Hey Stevens, I didn't even know you joined up.
How's it going?
Let me boost your volume, because you are god-awfully low. And hopefully that way we can all hear you.
Test, test. Is that better?
A little bit better. I also did kick your volume up 150%. Let me turn down my music even further. There we go. Now say something?
Test.
That's a lot better. Alright, so. Kingsley here, not sure who to root for. However, the current odds-on favorite, according to the fan poll, is Sploosh by a very large margin.
Yeah, I'm seeing some things here in AG's deployment that I'm not necessarily a fan of.
It seems both players did make a couple choices that I'm not exactly sure about, but again, with everybody getting a recon move, they've kind of dispersed out, and as you see, there's a bunch of units that have taken some pretty heavy suppression and losses pre-game from the minefields.
So we'll probably see that sniper team picked off turn 1. I'm not sure if he's aware of that, but that's definitely a sign of a newer player. I'm not familiar with AG.
I honestly don't know AG's performance or his past antics. All I know is that indeed that sniper position is not great, and he did deploy that sniper fairly early in the deployment groups. I think it was his 3rd or 4th unit deployed.
Yeah, definitely want to hold those. Additionally, if you're doing this kind of game and you have medics, I really wouldn't be tripping mines on your deployment. I would hold them and try to either dodge move or move into them turn 1 so you can at least heal things back. As blue player down 3 minis start this on sabotage, which is something that you should have the defensive position for the entire game. That's kind of a bad start.
Yeah, already off to a bad start, and Kingsley pointing out that this game's really going to be interesting depending on how Bosk handles the Death Troopers, should Sploosh use Bosk as Death Trooper Hunter. No reason not to. There are some good options there. Maximum firepower is likely going to be the first activation for Sploosh. However, if AG is thinking ahead with a Stormtrooper unit here with 2 suppression, well, Veers is right next to him, so playing Annihilation Looms is likely not a good starting hand, simply because Veers already has crowd control over pretty much everyone. And yes, Hubert, tower number 9 is indeed Kingsley.
He's been outed. His alias is no more.
He can't hide behind random handles. Alright, so we're seeing another Stormtrooper DLT group be deployed. One thing that Sploosh is missing is a direct line of sight group straight into the Death Troopers, Stormtroopers, and Medic group. There is no cover that he can utilize to do so, but a simple sniper unit, one hiding behind the rock formation, one poking out, could do some pretty heavy damage to anything trying to take the Vaporator over near the center of the board.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any particularly good means of fire towards that.
Alright, and with green being deployed, we're going to see AG place his next unit, and it looks like he's choosing Krennic. I'm going to go on mute real quick as a train blows past my house. Alright, so Krennic being deployed, likely behind cover, in range to keep everybody still on the board, and potentially compel as needed.
It'll be interesting to see here how Sploosh handles AG deploying these guys with short range config. So I'm assuming that AG wanted that long range config there, but technically they're deployed now with short range. We'll find out if Sploosh is a gentleman or not.
Alright, looks like we are seeing a sniper unit be deployed.
AG's also splitting his forces here with a single commander, which could turn dangerous quickly, especially when you have Bosk on the table, dumping suppression.
Alright, so we do see the sniper placed in such a position where he can cover the Vaporator without exposing himself too much, and of course his spotter in a tucked-in position where as not to be exposed too much. I think he'd, however, be better placed to the left of Bosk, so as to completely obscure him. However, placing him there would open him up to fire from anything that rounds the valley between the two rock faces.
So what I would have liked to have seen was AG place his Death Troopers actually going up that cliff.
I'm actually surprised he didn't and took advantage of that barricade. That would have been perfect placement, giving him great lines of sight into pretty much the entire force.
It's an extremely advantaged position on this map, I feel.
And yeah, as you pointed out earlier, it looks as though splitting his force in two with a single commander is going to leave the snowtroopers and the stormtroopers with a medic kind of on their own. So he'll need to reinforce it with further units if he hopes to keep them being useful. Otherwise, the majority of their force is going to need to be focused here in the center. However, what he can do is quickly capture out this objective with either some stormtroopers or the snipers, moving the medics around to attempt to take out the red stormtroopers and kind of like create a pincer move, thus controlling almost an entire 2/3 of the board.
So he is blue player, and on this objective, you really want to play defensively. You don't want to go on the assault until you have to, because at the end of the game, if the score is tied, which it should be on Vaporators, each player should have controlled their own Vaporator. Blue player wins any ties. So until red player destroys a unit of yours as blue player, you have no real incentive to apply pressure to your opponent.
Very true. I keep forgetting that it doesn't go to kill points immediately. It goes to blue player, then to kill points if kill points have been established. So,
Right. Yeah.
Boba Fett moving out, looking like he's going to be supporting this group. So this group over at the bottom of the board is going to be pretty heavily supported between the Flame Frag, the DLT and Medic, and Boba Fett, and a set of snipers. Likely this will be a group that will establish a foothold at the base of this valley and wait for anything to come their way. However, there is a nice walkway up that can be utilized. However, you are very exposed in doing so. Alright, so Boba Fett being deployed on Sploosh's side, also behind the rock formation, just to the left of Bosk. Looks as though they are laying out their bounties right now. Only two choices that can be made for Sploosh. AG picking just Veers as his bounty target, ignoring both Bosk and Boba Fett as his. Alright, and it looks like everything is deployed. They're about ready to go to turn 1 here, and we're going to see what cards they're going to play.
I predict a max fire.
Hoff, no, they have not sniped them yet. However, I'm very confident we're going to see maximum firepower as the first card. I would be kind of surprised if lying in wait happens, but it should be max firepower to take out these snipers on the hill almost immediately, thus putting blue player kind of on the back foot immediately. And there you go, maximum firepower and Annihilation Looms. I think Annihilation Looms is a mistake. Veers is right here and has control over everybody.
So the big problem with this play right here is that Krennic is not in command range, or compel range of his whole army. So these stormtroopers and the snowtroopers, they're going to lose in action.
Very much so.
Annihilation Looms is to use compel. They go hand in hand.
That said, the snowtroopers actually do have a chance to run off the board, well, at least run towards the board edge immediately, as they already have an established suppression.
Oh, wow, I didn't see that, yeah.
So they have no control over on that side of the board. At least Krennic is over in the center of the board to keep everything motivated that way. However, it's immediately going to put AG in a bad position, especially being blue player. He is missing out on probably the key thing about being blue player, which is indeed what you pointed out earlier. The tie goes to him.
I missed that Sploosh had placed his sniper up here. Confident. That
Oh, I didn't even see
right.
Sploosh place the sniper up there on the rocks. Both snipers in exposed positions. Interesting.
Well, I think he's confident that he's going to remove the enemy sniper here.
Agreed, especially with maximum firepower being out here.
It's a bold play.
Alright, so who are we going to see activate first? Well, looks like trying to ditch a suppression. Veer is unable to do so, so he's just going to get his stand. Well, he gets 2 regardless. So
we'll see if he re-inspires.
will he remember to inspire is the next question.
I think he's probably decking it right.
Standard command hand for Boba, Veers, and Bosk is typically going to be Whipcord, maximum firepower, sometimes push, sometimes flame. More often than not, the Reptilian Rampage, and then, or is that the 3? And then you'll see Backpack and either Reptilian Rampage or Laying in Wait, whichever the 3 is. Is your 3 pip.
Yep. So you'll have Backpack Rocket, Lying in Wait is your 3 pips. Your 2 pips are going to be Rampage, and then either Push or Flamethrower, like you said. I believe Sploosh runs Push, and then you've got your max firepower. And grenades, or Dioxys, or Whipcord. It's kind of playstyle.
Alright, so maximum firepower going right at the snipers like we had called earlier. And just like that, we see 2 hits initially. Veers, of course, with a name token, can go ahead and re-roll those surges. However, he does surge to crits, so no need to even bother re-rolling. 1 gone for the formation.
Oh, boy.
And wow, very, very, very lucky, only losing a singular unit. However, with that said, the green snipers do have a very good vantage point, as well as the purple snipers, and pretty much everybody else have a great vantage point on that. However, I suspect that you'll see these snipers go away if the token isn't drawn. Instead, you're going to go ahead and see the Death Troopers activate as opposed to do anything else, immediately going to take shots at the red Stormtroopers here with their suppression weapon.
So he did let him switch it, huh? Okay.
Alright. DLT shots and the E11D.
Standard roll right there for Death Troopers. Yep. See that too often.
Alright. Ooh. 3 missed saves out of that rollout. 2 saves made, and you're going to see over half the unit be killed, as well as 2 suppression be placed on these Stormtroopers. Now you're going to see where can Veers' courage keep them on the board. He only needs to make 1. Oh no, he's throwing his 5 suppression, so he needs to make 2 to stay on the board, otherwise that unit is likely gone.
That can't be right. How would he have 5 suppression?
2 from the landmine, 1 for Annihilation Looms, and 2 for the Stormtrooper, or the DLTs. That is how you get to 5.
Did he double trip the landmine?
Yep.
Okay. So, one thing to notice here, and this is...
Sniper's firing, getting a crit, taking out this sniper up top. And of course, forgetting to remove their suppression.
AG had technically scoped that DLT, but I don't think he was aware of it, so Sploosh pulled his regular mini.
Well, it wasn't called, so it is what it is.
Those are the things you gotta look for, though.
Alright, trying to remove the suppression from the snipers over here. They do not manage to, but they still get both activations, taking an aim and firing right back into what looks like the purple snipers from his location. Firing into heavy cover, he's going to need 2 hits or a crit. And there you go. That will eliminate one of the two snipers, making them have to reposition when they activate in order to take advantage of any shots that he might want to take. However, already up one activation, well, technically two, but one kill point worth of activations, Sploosh already has an advantage.
And the important thing with that is that now the defensive player in this encounter is going to be Sploosh.
Correct.
So now AG is going to have to apply pressure.
AG did indeed lose a total of 4 from mines. One double exploded, taking out 3, and then a single explosion to take out one of the snowtroopers. Alright, so the very, very lucky stormtroopers here, able to rally just enough to stay on the board, moving behind cover and likely onto... Oh no, they are retreating away from this objective.
My guess here is that he's going to advance with a stronger unit. Because if he loses this unit... Okay, no, he's committing.
He is committing. He just
wants. If he loses this unit, he'll be behind again.
Yep. It looks like he's positioning them just so that the commander is going to be in the safest position possible. So he can still hit the Vaporator, however, not be hit by anything unless it comes around the bend. The DLT, however, is still potentially safe. Now, you can see him from some of the Death Troopers, but as long as that commander stays on the board, that's all that matters. However, it can swing the defensive player back to AG's hands. But losing that sniper unit right off the bat is never a good thing. Kingsley pointing out that Boba Fett does have a nice, easy place to jump on top of this hill and pick off both of those units behind it. We'll see what looks like the snowtroopers try and activate. 2 suppression on them, able to rally one of them off, so they will get an activation as opposed to running away. Likely going to see them activate and just position themselves next to the objective.
Yeah, nothing wrong with this play. Get this capped and then move from there.
Alright. Sploosh going ahead and trying to activate one of his units. He rolls suppression on what looks like the purple stormtroopers. Failing both, he still is within command range of Veers, thus is able to activate and try and swing them around to get within contact of the Vaporator. Of course, he's knocking his sniper around in the process.
I missed how these guys lost this model. Was that from a mine?
Yes, they lost a model from the mines. That is correct.
That's fine on a naked squad. These guys are mostly for objectives.
Unable to properly orient himself, he will need a second move next turn in order to become in contact with that Vaporator. Looks like he's checking positioning for Veers for next turn. Kingsley, I think you're correct. It looks as though he tried to panic Red off the board, hence why he activated the DLTs, or the Death Troopers, as well as Krennic's Annihilation Looms. However, I would say Sploosh got super lucky that he was able to, well, it's probably about right, dice-wise, that he was able to roll and clear off 2 of those suppression, thus able to keep them on the board. Otherwise, that unit would have immediately been gone, and the favor would have swung right back into AG's hands.
This is some extremely aggressive sniper play we've got going on here.
Yeah, he's moving them up to try and get line of sight on somebody. Currently will have none, however he does get a second activation as he only has 1 suppression.
Oh, actually, I think he might be terrain scoping that yellow DLT.
Ah, if he gets in a good position, yeah, it
Not
looks
a
like he
bad
can
play.
get just the DLT from where he's sitting. You can see just his backpack. Hofberger thinking that the Boba Fett for Sploosh is going to come up and over the hill and try and wipe out these snipers.
He's got to go a little further to the right.
Not necessarily a good position for these snipers. They are really exposed to anything that's coming up over this hill. However, Boba Fett versus Boba Fett, you're just going to see them start bouncing off each other. But if you take away that sniper, that's yet another unit that will be eliminated, putting 8G even further in the hole.
I don't think I would push my Boba over here if I were Sploosh.
I would rather have Bosk go and deal with Boba Fett if possible.
You just let them come to you. Like I said, Sploosh has no incentive to...
Yeah, right now he does have that defensive incentive, so...
He could have lined that shot up, but it looks like he's moving on to...
Kingsley pointing out that he could have went up the ladder and taken a shot off the top of the bunker. Instead, he's moving very, very aggressively forward that I'm not sure is a good move, and putting himself into a standby.
And he forward cohered his spotter. Oof.
AG making some very critical mistakes right away when he could have had at least a couple good shots. It looks as though Blue is activating, healing out the medic that was killed earlier, bringing him back onto the board. Or not the medic, healing out the sniper from before.
Yeah, Kingsley, I think dubious is the right way to describe that play.
Take it easy, Kingsley. Thanks for coming out. Alright. Taking a dodge and healing. So, activating another trooper unit over on AG's side. Looks like he's going to activate the already heavily damaged stormtrooper. He's able to rally every last suppression off him, so he's able to get 2 activations out of this. He can clear one of the wounds off of the Vaporator if he so chooses to. In doing so, he will likely expose himself to any fire coming his way, though, but it's better than nothing.
He has to be careful with this squad. You really don't want to fall any further behind on points.
Double checking that he is indeed within cohesion range. He should be able to activate the Vaporator once if he so chooses to. Letting them know to turn off the grid.
Yeah. It's not necessarily appeasing, usually, to have it there.
Alright, so another trooper activating. Looks like it'll likely be the green troopers. Trying to activate and remove their suppression. They are able to rally that suppression off. So far, suppression not really being a massive factor. Just an annoyance.
I've seen this happen pretty often on that turn 1 AI play, where most of the squads rally anyway.
I think Annihilation Looms was a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of it turn 1. I know there was some early talk of turn 1 being the best time to use it, but I think the late gameplay is pretty powerful. Looks like you might try to pick off this unit leader here. I'll bring the DLT out of that squad. This unit leader is the only eligible model and it can't be killed first. But you the shot through heavy cover.
All his fire at one single model, heavy cover applied, but still it'll put that unit really far behind and out of actual range of this Vaporator. So another unit will have to come up to take it to begin working on it. All right. Looking at the rollout, we see 3 hits and a crit. So that'll be down to 2 wounds. Will he save him? Yes. Able to just deflect them, no problem. However, adding a suppression to that unit.
And that actually leaves that unit pretty much wide out in the open if he decides to push orange up the hill. AG has pulled core. He's going to activate his orange squad over here by Boba Fett. He clears his suppression as well.
Yep. However, I feel that unit is going to activate a little too early. They really don't have a target to heal. And I don't think they would have seen anything anyway, so potentially getting them in position to take care of the Vaporator might not be too terrible right now. That way, come next turn, they can potentially finish off that Vaporator. And then maybe clamber up.
Do this. I'm actually not positive. So I guess I haven't seen this before. But if a unit dies to mines before the game starts, I would think that you can medic it back.
I would assume that is the case. However, it looks like they are allowing it. I don't know, because that is a turn 0 thing, and I don't know if that's even has a rule or an FAQ written for it. I guess that kind of comes down to the players.
I'm gonna post the question in Discord.
Yep, that is a perfect question for the community to weigh in on. Blindly, how would you rule it? If you were FFG.
I would say no, because that's technically not within the turn. Yeah, I can't imagine that would be the case.
Yeah, it seems like Hofberger and I will also agree with you there. I think that it is part of turn 0, not turn 1. So detonating that mine is, the turn before you get to activate those medics. I think you shouldn't be able to revive ones that have been damaged and killed before the game. It sucks, but I believe that would be the correct call in my mind. Alright, Boba Fett activating. AG rolling away the suppression. Unable to, so this actually benefits Boba Fett this turn to keep that suppression on him. So any fire coming in, he'll at least have light cover. However, if he goes up on top of this hill, he will have great shots at red.
It looks like he's opting to consolidate his forces.
Yeah, looking like he's trying to bring everyone to the center, so it's a solid force, all under the range of Krennic, as opposed to being 2 different forces spread out and unable to burn away some suppression.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Boba Fett double moving to get on this hill. I think that that's a mistake. I think he should have... I think he should have moved on this back hill, where he would have been able to take some shots this turn. Hofberger correct. This is indeed a bold strategy.
I think if anything, you just move him. Yeah.
There you go. That is a much better move. Moving him undercover behind the hill. nothing can get to them unless they're right on top of them, which is going to open you up to a lot of fire come next turn.
Yeah, this way he can see where Sploosh decides to send his boss and Boba Fett.
It looked as though he was positioning to get a rocket shot off on Veers.
Yeah, he may be chasing that bounty a little harder than he normally would, just because that's a sure way to secure the win here.
Alright, sniper shots ringing out, trying to hit the snipers already suppressed. One crit coming through, that's all he really needs. That's going to take away one of the snipers and replace out the spotter.
Where was that shot from?
It was from the snipers on the hill, on the rock formation.
Huh. Didn't look like they had the angle on that. But
It must have had just enough. Alright, orange troopers activating.
yeah, I'm curious to see where he sends these guys. I'd like to see him move up the hill.
He does bleed away the suppression, so he's able to activate both of his actions.
Annihilation looms, doing nothing.
Yeah, on both sides of the board, too. I honestly think his best move would have been to move the Death Troopers up there. He can still move this squad up there. It looks as though he's moving, medicing, and moving back to rejuvenate that sniper. So, making it easy, without having to move them, he just simply says that he's moving back, healing the snipers.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you did there. I wonder what those pings were.
Probably showing where he's moving. Bosk clambering up on top of the rock formation because he is not really threatened by the snipers too much anymore. This will give him great range to everything. I suspect you're right. I think he will target those Death Troopers as his first choice of targets. Start trying to eliminate them.
Gone, so yeah, no, this is the exact right time you want to do it. After medics have gone, they can't bring the GTs back, so any wounds you deal now are going to be permanent.
Keeping his suppression, but doesn't really matter. Going to fire his launcher. He gets a hit and a crit. I would suspect they have heavy cover. They're going to just take a wound and lose a model. And that is one gone Death Trooper that cannot be brought back.
This is where you get ahead right there. Weakening the Death Troopers early is going to be big for him later on.
Alright, trying to activate Krennic. It looks like he failed to rally. Krennic here I don't think has much play.
He rarely does.
He more or less is a backup Stormtrooper commander at this point.
One of my biggest problems with Krennic is that on the table, his activations are usually not... he has to be range 2 to shoot, and he's so fragile. Does he have a steam leader on? No. He doesn't even have a steam leader, so Krennic could go down pretty quickly.
He really is a good back model, or back objective grabber. That's really about it.
Yes. Yes.
He can be used fairly effectively, don't get me wrong. His weapon is not terrible. However, he is pretty much best spent as kind of like behind the lines, pushing everybody else while he does some stuff in the background. Great for objectives, like I said, in the back. Not so much for anything else.
Man, curious to see what he's doing here.
Is he trying to scale the rock formation by chance?
Yeah, it kind of looked like that, and
Or is he just trying to get within command range of everybody?
he might also be doing that, trying to get in range of everyone without exposing himself.
If that's the case, he definitely needs to double move or single move directly behind the Kim silo, not the rock formation.
Okay, we see a short move and a dodge. Sploosh pulls a sniper. Leaves just his pink sniper that had previously been wounded. Does have the ink token.
like he's going to step out here and probably take another shot at these Death Troopers across the...
All right.
Uh-oh.
Two shot.
Actually,
Trying to ditch the suppression first. All right. He's able to
this
get
is gonna
one.
be terrible. He's going to be able to line of sight the DLT on the Death Troopers.
Yep. Looks like he's just targeting that one Death Trooper. Looking like he needs a 2 hits or a crit, and he'll only have that one Death Trooper, and that said, it will be a instant kill with no chance of revival.
Yep, this is a big play. And he has the aim token from Veers, so it's as if he didn't have to.
He does have aim from spotter, so move and shoot. Very good odds of shooting out that DLT. Let's see what he rolls. Waiting for the rollout. And there's one hit. Will he get it on the reroll? He does. 2 hits. There you go. That is one dead DLT. Already these AG really on his back foot here with those models in the center.
I'll be right back.
Okay. We see Boba Fett activating. Checking his range, he's going to go ahead and move. Here, I would like to see him potentially go for shots on the snipers, the brown snipers. However, he can also get himself in a good position where he can immediately fire and take out yet another Death Trooper if he so chose to. Looks like he can. He will have great shots at the Death Troopers where he's currently at. He will likely only see 1, potentially 2. Moving over here, though, he definitely sees 2. He'll remove their heavy cover because of his sharpshooter. And Pierce 1 means he'll kill at least 1 if he rolls well enough. We'll see what they agree to. Looks like he is indeed firing at the Death Troopers. 1 hit going through removes 1 model. Simple as that. And they are now up to suppression 4. Down 3 out of 5 Death Troopers within the first turn. AG already behind with the loss of his sniper units. Alright. Now the following turn. I suspect we'll see Rocket from... Yep, Rocket and Push. There you go. Alright. Bosk taking shots at the Death Troopers, trying to clear them early before they even get a chance to activate. 1 hit going through, that will not be enough.
Nope.
2 suppression, though. It does start to add up. And climbing back down from the rocks. Good attempt. He definitely was hoping to roll one of the crits, but not a big deal. Still does some effect to the Death Troopers. Looks as though he forgot to... he might not be within range anymore to do his entourage. I think he is. I think he might have forgot.
He might be just out. Or he forgot. If I were AG, I'd be pretty rattled right now.
Yep. Probably got sidetracked. Looks as though he's adding another wound token to that Vaporator and running and hiding while he still can with that unit before it's too late.
That is a perfectly acceptable strategy.
Yeah, at this point he needs to preserve his units as he is still looking to catch back up, but at least he can hold off from going further in the red.
I think his play right now is he's going to gamble everything on taking out Fears with Boba Fett to secure that bounty. and then he's just going to try to ride it out. He's lost too many of his Death Troopers, so their firepower is basically non-existent at this point. Otherwise, he doesn't have too much.
I would likely suspect that we're going to see AG's Boba Fett make a hard push for that bounty. He might end up getting himself in trouble in doing so, allowing him to be bountied in turn. Boba Fett wildly running out here. Getting on the hill, trying to probably eliminate out either the Death Troopers or the Pink Squad. Yeah, it looks like he is going to be targeting the Death Troopers, would be my guess. They're the biggest threat model.
Range 2, which is... well, it's not there. Says it is. But
it is not. Yeah, he is still a little bit behind. Still not there. Yeah, you need to look at the bands, not the numbers. There you go. He finally gets it. He'll be able to roll all 4 black dice with this move. Of course, into no cover whatsoever. Alright, rolling out. Ooh.
Oh, just one.
That's not good. That is a single model. However, he was really hoping for one more. Because that'll just... if orange activates, they'll just heal right back up. Of course, still ineffective in the grand scheme of things, but at least it'll prevent them from being completely annihilated. Alright, drawing from the stack. We have a trooper unit being activated.
I don't think he wants to move these guys on the side yet. Probably should just go with orange, heal that DT. It does look like the green sniper can see the head of that model, so if he doesn't heal it now, he may lose it. He's activating.
All right.
Repairing.
And he'll have one more activation if he chooses to. So is that 4 on this thing, or is it 3? It's 3 total. Okay, it was just placed awkwardly. No reason to really move. You might as well save it for next turn. You might as well just take a dodge.
I guess he's preparing himself to be further along. There's nothing wrong with this.
Looks like he's just simply repositioning all around. A little bit unnecessary, but still, it works. Alright, drawing what looks like Veers this time. This will allow Veers to at least spot her and give the snipers aim and potentially even the stormtroopers. If he remembers to, he can clear some suppression off red as well, as he's within range.
I think now he hides Veers from that incoming rocket. That would be played. This is curious. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Going to hide behind the crate, trying to preserve him from the incoming rocket from Boba Fett. Very, very wise move. However, Boba's range 3, he can easily get a line of sight on him. However, it will be obscured depending on how he lands it. Alright, so pulling a sniper unit. Or no, sorry, pulling his commander unit. Taking dodge and a standby on Krennic.
Alright, alright.
He pulled the Krennic maneuver. Alright, back to snipers now on Sploosh's side, already with an aim token. He doesn't have much in the way of targets unless he wants to start taking shots at orange.
Yeah, he's either going to have to step out and shoot at orange.
It looks as though he is activating his snipers on top of the ridge, actually. Likely taking aim and fire at the lone Death Trooper, who he can see the head of.
This is the right play.
Yep, I would say this would be the best play, because if we see a hit or a crit, that is that entire unit gone.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yep.
And that could have been prevented had he activated orange instead of the snow troopers and peeled that model back.
Yep, a complete loss of a unit now. Massively behind at this moment, losing the DTs and the strike team. Even if they were to tie out now, you'd see the kill points heavily favoring Sploosh, as that Death Trooper unit is massively expensive.
I don't see many ways back for AG from here. He has to either secure the bounty or make a huge play on this Vaporator that's guarded. But doing that's going to expose him to pretty much all of Sploosh's army.
Yeah, he is moving everybody out roughly into the open, potentially to take shots at things, but this move is a little... I mean, I get it, he's trying to bring his army back together, but it's already going to look pretty rough.
I think he'll be out of range of most things here, and he's just lining up shots on Boba Fett. There's not much else to do. You might get lucky. Nothing wrong with this.
Alright, we're going to see some Stormtroopers fire at Boba Fett. Looks as though he gets 4 hits in, of which I assume 2 are going to be negated for heavy cover, and Boba Fett, with his 3+ save, is able to take both shots and ignore them.
It's Boba Fett for you. All or nothing.
Yellow team moving up. Cohering in front of the commander. Likely to get line of sight at the snipers. Not the best move ever, but not terrible either.
He can't fit enough of his unit over there to make this worthwhile.
Agreed. The return fire would be too much and likely end up with them...
Already that DLT can't see anything. That first multi place is the only thing that's going to have line of sight, so no, there's just...
From the DLT, I actually am able to see the elbow of the sniper that's laying down.
Okay.
So you'll see 2 whole models able to fire here. We'll see if that's what they agreed to.
Oh boy. Yeah. And that's going to leave them in the open for these snipers or snows or anything else that comes around. It's the only thing in cover now is the unit leader.
Alright, 2 hits coming in with a reroll. 2 hits on the snipers. Negated because of heavy cover, only a suppression being applied. Alright, Boba Fett activating at this point in time. Likely going to move now that most of the things that can return fire at him have activated. Looks like he's going to attempt to get him to a position where he might be able to see Veers, but maybe he's just going to go and target Bosk. So not going for that bounty, instead taking a different target here.
Okay, he's going to...
Hofberger correctly pointing out that perhaps the best roll would have been to re-roll all 3 of those and hope for a crit out of it. Alright, rockets coming in at Bosk. No cover, ignoring the first save. We see 2 hits, 3 hits because of a surge. 3 t-shirt saves, saving 1, ignored by Pierce. Bosk taking 3 wounds and entering in rage. Not bad, not worse.
I think he would have been better served here destroying that sniper team.
Agreed. He had the shots, he could have removed an activation, bringing himself closer to parity. Instead, firing at a strong target, starting to get the wound train rolling on Bosk. However, I don't know if it's going to come into play enough. And then with Sploosh activating green troopers, you're going to see some really angry stormtroopers here as they move out and have plenty of targets. Some in the open, some not. I guess the question here is, do you move out and attempt to shoot at Orange, or do you move out and shoot at Boba Fett?
Man. I think he moves into the open, take shots at Orange, if he has the range.
Trying to activate, apparently they do have a suppression on them from somewhere. Oh no, I'm sorry, he's activating purple instead. He changed his mind. Unable to activate them twice, only able to get a singular activation off. They move within touching range of the objective for next turn's activation.
Back to AG.
Alright. Looks as though we're going to see the sniper activate. Or be shot at, rather. Can the snipers see each other?
What is going on here?
Looks like he's trying to clear the suppression first, which he does not. So he might potentially be stepping out to try and take shots with his sniper. Maybe he was trying to see where those snipers can see, asking for clarity from Sploosh. He will be able to move and fire. However, he is exposing himself to yellow right here. But if he moves close enough, he can utilize both weapons, and we'll have a bunch of shots in the open. He might as well. No reason not to at this point. And the other snipers cannot see him in return, so this is probably a good move.
Yeah, I like this. I think this was a little bit greedy of Sploosh.
All right.
We're going to see him take all 4 black.
Ooh, good rollout. 3 saves going to need to be made here. With that, 3 are dead thanks to the sniper rifle. Not a bad maneuver by those scouts, however they took a giant risk in doing so. Purple or pink snipers now activating, they can likely maneuver, or they might not even need to, and just take shots at Boba Fett. That is an option. Starting the wound train on him.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get one wound on him so you can activate Hunter on boss. Or he could always try to put a suppression on Orange, who hasn't activated yet.
All right. Pink moving away. They already have their aim, so no need to do anything else. Looks like they're trying to get away from Boba Fett, maybe to take shots at him as they retreat, or maybe to get shots at the orange stormtroopers out in the open. I'd say from where they're at, Boba Fett is the likely target.
Yeah, I think what he's doing here is he's moving back, then he's going to cohere his other model out of line of sight. So
Yeah, yep, and that's exactly it. Put him so that he's safe, so that if the sniper does bite it, he'll be perfectly protected. Oop, and I missed the rollout there. I apologize. 1 hit so far, 2 hits. So ignoring cover, he'll have to save Boba Fett. And able to deflect it.
Boba for you.
Boba Fett with the Space Marine armor ignores most things.
Both Bobas are holding up.
If they engage each other, you'll likely see them start to bounce off each other.
AG doesn't have a whole lot left here to activate. I think it might just be the Storm Squad. Oh no, he does have a sniper. He's gonna have to step out of cover here if he wants to shoot anything. If I were him, I would try to terrain scope that medic across the field, whose medic is definitely exposed. I think he could move back safely enough too to be not visible from the group. Does not rally, but that's beneficial.
Snipers don't really mind that at all. Looks like they're going to get in position to potentially fire on Boba Fett.
He might also be shooting at the pink sniper. He has the spotter's leg.
Correct, and the head, so he does have an option there. Looks as though he is, at least with the hand movement tool, talking about Boba Fett, based on what I was looking at.
Okay, he's actually electing to shoot at Yellow Squad. He's going to try to pick off the...
He does have the shot. It'll be in heavy cover, so again, looking for a hit or crit. Gets his crit. That's the commander gone. Leaving just the... well, the DLT will swap with the commander, but it'll leave just the single model who can be picked off with lots of other things.
Here we see Sploosh sort of paying the price for being greedy with that squad. You won't be able to get range 3 on Boba Fett here, so this maneuver probably will not be worth it. So he's looking back towards moving at the middle. He may be able to line up a shot on Orange in the open, or he may have to find another angle on Boba Fett.
He will be putting himself out in the open if he moves that way. It's not the worst thing ever.
He'll be in the open, but there aren't a ton of things that are going to be able to fire on him.
He, however, can keep 3 units behind cover if he wants to, thus giving himself heavy cover. But there's not a lot that can shoot him. I mean, you have Boba Fett and you have the Orange Stormtroopers. The Orange Stormtroopers do have that med droid. These guys do not. Looks like he's trying to get within range 3 of those Orange Troopers. Unable to do so, I don't think you move out in the open. You're only going to use your DLT.
Right.
And he'll be able to then move up and have full shots on you. I think it's not worth taking the risk.
I agree. I think you either do a short move and dodge, or you double move them to get into cover. But he's going for something here. Oh, he actually ended up getting Boba in range 3. So he's gonna...
Ah, that is another choice. Alright. Hits or hits on Boba Fett. Wow. Decent rollout. So he will see 3 saves coming in. Boba Fett doing Boba Fett things.
Okay, this will be AG's last activation of turn 2. Should really take these guys up the cliff and shoot. But he's going to shoot.
Rolling out with these Stormtroopers, you get 1 hit, re-rolling 3, thanks to aim and their ability to have precise. No additional hits, Boba Fett just taking a suppression. So both Boba Fett's effectively just eating up lots and lots of shots for not really a lot of impact into the game.
They sure are.
Alright, Red Troopers trying to negate their suppression likely will just activate, taking care of the objective marker there.
Actually opting to do blue. Doesn't really matter at this point since the remaining activations are all hit.
Alright, checking range for Boba Fett before moving up the completely dispersed blue troopers.
Curious as to where he's hiding them from.
Alright, now since it is all Sploosh's activations, we're seeing the snipers activate here. Again, they have their choice of Boba Fett, and that is exactly what he's doing, aiming and firing, I assume.
Yep.
That would be the wrong dice. Alright, so... Oh, nothing on the first rollout. Trying again, gets a crit and a hit.
Let's see if the armor holds up.
Oh, Boba Fett, unable to survive the sniper shot, takes a singular wound, the first wound on Boba Fett this time. However, still a long, long way to go, especially with E-stims on him. And we move into the second turn, finally.
Important to note now is that Hunter will be activated for boss. And boss with aim is the scary thing.
It's almost as if I have an emoji for this. Alright, what cards do you think are going to come out with? I think laying in wait is probably not a good one. I'd say go ahead and do the Reptilian Rampage now and lay into him.
Yes.
As for AG, I don't know. If he wanted to escape, he could do Whipcord.
I think he might do Voracious Ambition here to ensure that he can get Boba out of harm.
Yeah, that way he, well, doesn't guarantee it. He has a very high chance of it. And there you go, called that one. Oh, and Whipcord, like I thought, to try and escape out of there. Even if Boba Fett completely dodges the Reptilian Rampage, there are still a lot of good targets for Bossk, I feel. He can either attempt to get to Orange, or he can attempt to get the Brown Snipers. He will likely whiff one of the attacks. He'll have to just go with a double move and then an attack, but still, he does have plenty of options left in front of him.
Right, he might just hop back up on top of that rock formation.
Also true, giving him great lines of sight. The trouble will he have range where he needs to go. Looks like Boba Fett taking some shots at the red troopers. He gets a singular hit in. That will be a dead trooper.
I think that was it, yellow.
Oh, yeah, taking it at yellow. Oh, he was split firing. I'm sorry, he did his wrist rockets there. Doing his carbine at Bossk, I suppose? Who takes 2 more wounds. So Bossk now really loaded up.
Yeah, it's from the Whipcord. Okay. He has to be careful here that he doesn't leave himself exposed to Bossk. Going back and clearing his suppression.
Hiding behind the hill. I think Bossk will still have good shots at him. He can simply just do his free move, and he's going to have shots right at his backpack.
Yeah, that is...
I think this is a completely missed opportunity here. I don't know what he's trying to do.
He's still adjusting. Okay, that's good. I think he needs to just go back further behind here. There's too many things that might get angles.
Yeah, I'm like writing my weekly report actually in between calling comments because I completely forgot to do it today. And writing weekly reports takes roughly an hour and a half if I'm dedicated to it. So trying to do it before like it's super late. And there was due close of business, so I'm already 3 hours late. So you guys will have to forgive me. I'm actually trying to do work in between this because I'm an idiot and forgot.
I'll pick up the dinner. I was actually having work texts.
Don't you love being an adult where your hours of operation are actually the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed, and even sometimes beyond that?
Sure is.
Alright, this is a much, much smarter move. I don't know what he was trying to do originally, but at least this way Boba Fett is now completely obscured and hidden, and if Bossk moves up on top of the hill, he will not have any shots at him. However, he still has some really amazing shots at both orange troopers, as well as these pink troopers. I think that's what you do, is you go up there and try and eliminate that activation completely. Of course, he now has no incentive to activate Bossk anytime soon. He has plenty of time.
Yeah, I would probably hold Bosk and see what my opponent does if they move anything into the open.
ICOB is saying that you are a little quiet. If there's any way that you can tweak your volume on your side, I already have you maxed out on mine.
Sure thing.
Snipers are
Let me
activating,
check
getting a whopping nothing, and rolling into 2 hits. So ignoring one of those saves, he takes away a trooper from the orange unit. However, unactivated yet, they do have that medic available to them. That medic might be better spent healing Boba Fett instead of bringing that trooper back. However, this uphill battle is going to be, I think in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be unconsequential. Yeah, there is indeed a co-caster. I'm sorry if you all were unable to hear him.
Oh man, have I been silent this whole time?
Not completely silent. I mean, now you're super loud.
Okay.
Now you're peaking, which is great.
Ooh, am I too loud?
No, I think you're fine. I can tweak you
Okay.
on my end, of course.
I'm sorry, guys.
I was able to hear you and make conversation.
Yeah, but now everyone thinks you're talking to yourself. Hey, audience, can you guys hear me? Give me something in the chat.
Oh, he was just shitting with you.
Messing with me. Just messing
All
with me.
right. So snipers activating, firing both, and of course getting 1 hit in, which is all they needed to eliminate the stormtrooper unit. It is the first unit loss from Sploosh. AG, however, down 2, almost ready for a 3rd trooper or unit loss. Still, his back is against the wall here, but at least he's slowly catching up. Bosk, however, not in a great spot, to be honest with you. Sniper is positioning to get a little bit of cover behind the hill as well, removing yet another unit that Bosk could activate against. Alright, Special Forces activating, likely going to be pink snipers. They have shots at a whopping nothing at the moment. Using his improvised orders, he is swapping out for a trooper token.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to finish repairing this and then probably retreat, which would be the safe thing to do.
Yep, activating, clearing that last wound, taking a
he's gonna stand
standby, almost as a defensive unit right there. They are currently protected from anything coming through here that something would have to move through, so that might be the safer spot for them, where they're currently at.
I suppose that's true. If they fell back, I mean, there's a chance that Bo would go and shoot them next turn.
Hello there.
But still, Bo can come around the corner pretty easily.
Thank you for the follow just out of the breach. I appreciate it, or just out of breach. Much appreciated. Pulling out a trooper unit. Likely the dead trooper, because I believe everything is activated. No, blue is not activated yet. Purple's not activated yet. There's a lot of unactivated stuff. I don't think you can throw the command out like that. I think you have to accept it. Unless he was drawing it early, just to remove it from the stack.
Yeah, if he
Oh,
still
an Australian.
had any of, if he still had any of those types of units left, he needs to pick it.
Yeah, I thought that you can't remove it until the end of the turn, unless you have drawn every other possibility first.
Right. That's how it should be.
Now, they must have agreed to something different or something odd happened. Anyway, activating the troopers in the center, the orange troopers, need to remove that suppression.
Hello there.
And thank you for the follow, Hubert from Hell. Or Hubbard from Hell, either or. Unable to remove that suppression, I think your best bet is to move closer to Boba Fett and remove his wound. I know it's not great, but it's better than nothing at the moment. And plus it gets your Boba Fett back on the same
yeah.
level as the opponent Boba Fett.
He is just out of range, isn't he? That's too bad.
Yeah. It would be great if he had moved a little closer with Boba Fett, then he would have been
no.
already in range. Oh my god, there we go. I was like, what are you doing, assault him? Yeah, if he had either removed that suppression token or Boba Fett was a little closer, he could fire into Sploosh's Boba Fett. However, now his choice is either sit on his hands or accept the movement and sit on his hands, as in sit here and fire and ignore the wound, or eat his attack and move and heal Boba Fett. He might be able to get in a position where he can still... No, there's no way he can get in a position. Never mind. He is basically... It's one or the other.
Is he... Did they have 2 suppression, or did he just compel...
I believe they had the suppression.
Yeah.
And
So
he's
he
healing
compelled
Boba
them
Fett.
to give them a standby.
Oh, he did compel them. I'm not sure I would have taken that as an action, but sure. I mean, Boba Fett is still an option on the board that is not activated.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt. I probably would have just left him at 1 so that I could have that come off next turn. So, if you guys are watching, one thing to pay attention to here, and you really want to be careful when you're doing this, that's bad placement of the DLT. You really want the DLT tucked inside, because something could scope that barrel. I don't think Sploosh has the angle, but you never know when you leave it on the outside. Like,
Ah, Luke Cook is in the chat now. Alright, so looks as though we activated purple. They cleared the objective finally and took a dodge. I believe there's still 1 wound on that objective marker, though.
yeah, it's taken them a while to get there.
Now, it took them several turns indeed.
Hold on there, buddy. You're damaging. Snows are going to cap that off, and now they'll be able to move forward and
They'll start
maybe
putting
catch
pressure.
something here in this canyon.
They do have the option next turn. I wouldn't... Yeah, there's no way they can do anything this turn, but next turn they can swing around and start threatening red and potentially into blue as well. So, we're starting to see things slowly claw back into AG's favor. However, it is still very much an uphill battle, as is.
Yeah. I wouldn't say to his favor, but he's definitely tightening his game up. He's making far fewer mistakes now, and it looks like he's kind of collected himself. I can't apply this to everybody, but I know for myself, when I'm playing, especially when it's in round robin or like single elims, stuff like that, my nerves get to me. If I make mistakes and stuff like that, it's usually because I'm starting to feel nervous. So I'm sure other people feel that way. AG might have had a little bit of that going on in the beginning. We've seen Sploosh before get a little carried away when he picks up. I think he's shown a little bit of that tonight. Now he's bringing his sniper out to hopefully catch something. I think Nick doesn't have any shots right now.
Running those snipers way out there, probably just to get a better position for the following turn, as a lot of stuff is now behind cover. Sitting those snipers would not really do a whole heck of a lot. See a little bit of debate. You do have the trooper token out here still.
You just go with pink. And probably... I don't think you shoot a bow, but I don't think you reveal him the bow because you could pick off that deal too. Just hide with pink. Naked medics, you're gonna aim and shoot a boba.
And we see 1 hit so far, so you're going to re-roll those 3 with the aim. Nothing, so just a suppression as he's shooting up and over that crate. I actually need to turn on the lights in my office. It is dark and I can no longer see my notes. There we go.
He's pulled Boba. What's going on here? Oh, he's turning on his ring for standby.
Yep. Just so that Boba Fett knows where he can and can't go. I think you kind of accept the standby, to be honest. You just run into it, or you can position yourself so they can't see you. So he's going to move just outside of it and be able to fire in at his choice of targets.
Looks like he's going to come over here and possibly kill Pink. He may not be able to get the unit leader. Look, positions correctly.
Yeah, just outside, he's going to have his choice of targets. Yeah, he can fire at Pink all day and night, taking out yet another unit, or he can fire at the snipers, and he is firing at the snipers, splitting his fire between the two.
Okay.
Not terrible.
I don't like to be this greedy with black dice, but we'll see how it happens. Okay.
2 hits, that's kind of what you need. That
Wow.
sniper takes...
Was that the carbine, or was that the wrist rocket?
That was the wrist rocket. Oh, wow.
Good on those snipers. It'll be 1 dead DLT.
Good on the snipers for taking the save to the face there. Alright, so down to a single activation, or single man on the pink team. Trying to remove suppression, likely after the fact because he forgot. But, of course, it didn't really affect the play whatsoever. Pulling the snipers that were fired at previously, they are sitting on some suppression, so they'll have to roll it out.
Boba's going to be in the open now, so this is going to get interesting.
Yep, he clears the suppression, so he can aim and fire at Boba Fett if he wants to. Boba Fett sitting on a suppression, but the snipers will negate it.
I believe he only had 1 suppression, so it was somewhat inconsequential.
Yep. Well, it does give him light cover, but irrelevant to snipers. Oh, taking a shot at Veers of all people. I'm not sure I agree with this. You're still trying to chase that bounty. Getting a crit, so that is a wound. And a hit. So yeah, just the crit going through, taking the wound on Veers. It's potential that he's trying to clear out some space so that his Boba Fett can swing around and start really going to town on Veers, trying to secure that bounty.
I think he's going to have trouble catching Veers, though, if it gets desperate. Sploosh can just run away.
Yep. Alright, activating...
I'd much rather see him capitalize on Boba Fett here in the open.
Yeah, he had an option to take out a very strong unit. Should have went for it with the double unit, pulling out their their handguns and firing that way, as Luke pointed out.
I mean, his spotters doesn't have line of sight, and I don't know if I'd expose him, because you still have snipers that haven't... Alright, Veers is up, he's spottering a sniper.
And Bosk.
I don't know if that's in range.
Range 1 is... I'd say range 1 might only be to blue. But he's not pulling it up.
He's got that. Sploosh. AG, what are you guys doing?
We can't call it. AG should be like, hey, check your range.
Sploosh being sneaky. Gotta watch your opponents, folks. Gotta watch your opponents. He's actually choosing to move Veers towards the opposing Boba.
It's not terrible, because Veers does have a rather nice weapon. It's very, very finicky, but if it hits, it hurts.
It is, but the bounty is AG's path to victory.
Yep.
So I have to question what his next turn is going to be with it.
I think that Veers should have ran further away instead of closer to Boba Fett. That said, I think that AG should have forced Sploosh to pull out the range and verify.
Yes, absolutely.
They could have verified it earlier.
I don't think there's any way in hell that Pink was within range. Boss may not have even been. Boss probably was. I don't think Sniper was.
Yeah, Hoff's saying that he expects Boba to take a bunch of damage, but in turn kill Krennic and then take out Boba Fett and collect both. Collect the bounties that way.
It's a lot of risk when you're already ahead.
There's no reason to really push anything at this moment. In fact, I'd almost start with retreating with Boba Fett. Bring him back in line with the rest of your troops. Don't leave him exposed. Try and bring Red back as well.
Yes. So in round robin, there's some incentive to getting aggressive because you were playing for victory points in case it's. Here in single elims, the only thing that matters is winning. It doesn't matter how you do it.
Oh, he was saying that AG should have shot with Boba. Should have shot Boba with Krennic. Gotcha. Yeah, that could have been useful. Rolling a crit and a hit from the snipers. That is a dead sniper there. Being swapped out for the troop leader.
Unfortunately, he didn't need that illegal aim token.
The questionable aim token at best.
Yeah. And here we see another reason why you don't activate your medics before all of your other units have gone.
Yep.
Because that DLT will not be able to be brought back. This medic has essentially done nothing. So he healed one wound earlier.
Yeah, and not a lot of options. Yeah, everyone seems to be thinking that what AG should have done was rolled the snipers out, fired both their weapons at Boba Fett, rolled Krennic out and fired at him as well. However, Krennic already activated his standby. I think he was very early activation.
It was like second or third.
Yeah, so I think that Boba wasn't even in a placement yet.
He was not.
Trying to do something here.
Okay. Shooting a Boba. Why not, I guess. Doesn't have a lot of safe places.
Alright, blue activating.
Looks like they healed a wound off of Veers.
And it looks like they're getting in place to help with the brunt of stuff that might be coming their way through the valley under the catwalk.
I see. He's trying to shore up and protect this vape because he doesn't want Boba to possibly come over here and strip something off of it. By positioning his units like that around the Vapor Breeder, AG can't actually interact with it.
Alright, now we're seeing green move forward even further. Definitely not within range too, because Boba Fett was out of it. From their current placement, they could see and fire. No reason not to. I don't exactly see the reason of moving up to this objective. You're only going to expose yourself.
I think what he's doing here is he's trying to guarantee a victory by getting a wound back off of this.
So it looks like he's really pushing hard to take out Pink at this point and attempting to likely wipe out Red as well, which at that point he's now playing for table and not really having a lot of risk, even if he's putting all his units out there, just because the odds are so in his favor at that point.
it. I mean, the chances are that this will pan out for Sploosh, but the problem is that he's actually creating a chance that AG could. It's unlikely, but he's taking that 0% chance from running away. If he had retreated and just secured his defenses, because now he's giving AG a shot at this.
Yeah. Currently, he's playing rather high risk. Not necessarily unnecessary, but he could have played the boring game and sat back. At least he's giving us an entertaining game. I, however, am not sure I agree with the plays, but it is something. So, Bosk moving up. I'm supposing that was his wound one. He now has red troopers in line of sight, so he can fire at them. His gigantic stack of wounds. Oh no, he just took a standard move for that one. He did not apply himself a wound by the looks of it.
I don't know that he can afford to now that he's got...
Yeah, just take a wound and a shot. Especially without stims.
Even this is kind of dangerous because Boba Fett could pop up over this and kill him next.
Oh, so one crit coming through. So one model being removed.
Alright, and that's the end of turn.
Alright. So what do you think we'll see this turn card-wise?
Oh, that was quick from... Was that AG that just placed it?
I think we're going to see Voracious for sure at this point, just to stack your hand.
I think so, too. I think you do Voracious to kill Bosk.
I wonder if he's going to use...
Yep,
Whipcord.
And Voracious beats it.
Yep. Because the tie goes to Krennic, because he technically has a negative 1 modifier to all his pips.
Yeah.
Looks like he's measuring to see if he can move those snowtroopers under the catwalk to attempt to get some flame frag action, because they have not really joined the battle as of yet, and they're kind of wasting their opportunity by just sitting around.
Alright, what did I miss? It just stepped away.
Just measuring the snowtroopers and trying to debate where and what to do, as Boba Fett is kind of off on his own, leaving lots of opportunities back behind the area.
Okay, so he's activating 4.
Yep, looks like he is moving. He's likely going to have to move twice to get within range, but that's fine because snowtroopers move and fire. He can... Oh, it's going to be close. If nothing else, he can still fire his E11s.
Might have it. He doesn't need to take the long angle. Oh, I think he'll be good. Oh yeah, it's well within. I do hope this wasn't a missed opportunity. You really should have tried to go for Boba Fett out the gate to kill Bosk.
I agree. However, there is a chance he might not have drawn Boba Fett's token.
Right, yeah, that is.
It's a slim chance, but it is a chance. Instead, he's going with what looks like should be a very easy flame frag.
This could be a big play here.
I believe if he has 3 in his hand, he has 4 out. So yeah, he has a total of 8 left. Yeah, he only lost 2 out of 10 units. Yikes! 6 coming in. Oh my god, and only losing 1. Wow!
Great roll.
Those stormtroopers not caring at all about that flame and frag combo. That is brutal. That might change a lot.
I'm just gonna go with that. Just throwing him in here. Go with these guys.
Boba Fett jumping up and over. I mean, you have your choice of either wipe out the pink or the red trooper at this point.
You just finish off. Maybe look for a sniper. He does have it. He has that sniper barrel.
Getting rid of the suppression. He does not. He keeps it. Yeah, you can take out the sniper, which is likely the better play right now. Hit him with your carbine. Hit red with your missile, I suppose.
You go for pink.
Yeah, go for pink, wipe him out. Let green take care of red.
Exactly.
Oh, he's not. Unless he's going to whipcord them, which it looks like that's the case. Maybe then you, yep, carbine the sniper, and then rocket pink. Yep, there you go. That's the call. That is a brilliant use of Boba Fett right there. Getting 3 different targets. Oof. Firing his, I'm assuming carbine, kills off that sniper. Firing his rockets at red, getting a singular hit.
Pink, I believe. And he will survive. Yep, here goes pink. And then he wrist rocket, or whip-corded red. Which, to be fair, red hasn't moved at all this game, so I don't think he's too upset about it.
That was actually a very, very effective use of Boba Fett there. With these snipers, I think you just roll them out slightly and just start taking shots at Boba Fett. I don't think you move them this way. Unless you really want to put some hurt on Bosk and attempt to eliminate Bosk.
Actually, he can get green in the open. So I think you bring them over.
Hoff, I agree. The problem was he wouldn't have been able to do all the range stuff that he was doing just now, I think. I'd have to go back and see what his movement was. I think moving the snipers out here is very risky. You can shoot at the opposing snipers. You can shoot at Bosk. You can shoot at Veers. I'm not sure I like any of them.
Yeah, no, you don't do this because you're exposing yourself to the snipers. You're exposing yourself to Bosk. And unless he tries to kill Bosk right now. Maybe do that. But I think I would take on green. Because you really don't want him messing with your Vaporator. Because you're going to have to go back and fix that.
Yep.
Looks like he's trying to position himself to shoot it. Blue, I'm assuming. Or you could have got line of sight to think this. But that's in heavy cover.
I really need a nice keyboard. This isn't even a mechanical keyboard. That's the problem.
My mechanical keyboard drives me crazy because it's too loud.
Yeah, I really want a silent, but I'm, I don't know, lazy. That said, again, I'm kind of annoyed at myself that I'm having to do my weekly report while I'm casting.
Okay, so he is going to come back this way.
Yep, I think Boba is your best target. You just really need to start putting a hurt on him.
Boba might be too far out of your range now. Not literally your range, but you
Oh
may
yeah,
not be
your
able to kill
ability
Boba.
per turn left. I gotcha.
I think you go after green.
Yep. Okay. I see that because last thing you want is them to start changing hands on that Vaporator. Ouch! Rolling out nothing. That will not help at all.
On the bright side, he's not providing them with light cover from suppression. Silver lining. And let's see, we got core activation here.
Yep, it's going to be green, activating to remove that, or activate on that Vaporator. I think that effectively becomes game.
Most likely, yes. He has to do something about them. The longer they stay there, they're going to do that each. They're going to be shooting at red, or maybe pink. I think these might be.
Alright, firing at red with green. Looks like we're going to see a whopping 6 hits. Yikes! One of them negated by suppression. Hoff stating he would have shot orange instead. Yeah, I mean, it's not likely that that group is going to activate or do anything, and they lose a singular unit, whereas orange, you could put an additional suppression on them, and that could have been really bad for them.
DLT. Naked squad doesn't have much going on for it. Makes sense. Makes sense off. Force suppression, he actually has to clear one of these.
Ouch.
Yeah, he does.
Clears one of them. He will get to activate, though. And with the suppression, or the immobilization, he can't do anything. He'll just be able to shoot. That's his only option.
He needs to use his medical bot.
Yeah, because otherwise it's a complete waste. He's not going to be able to move it anywhere. Shoots, gets nothing.
He should have healed in one shot.
Yep, he lost out on a chance there to bring an extra shot to bear. Now we see snipers activating. They can't see anybody where they're currently at. Well, they can see the snow troopers, obviously. I suppose you close on the snow troopers and you can line up both weapons.
Yep, bringing it in. We'll deny them cover and being touching here. We might get both shots here. This will be very destructive.
Nice. That is what you probably wanted, was to bring those snipers up. Only hitting 2 is better than nothing, but if you had just fired your sniper round, or your sniper rifle, you could have missed. I think bringing both weapons to bear is the better call. And look at that, takes out 2 with it. That actually paid off pretty well. Sploosh, once again, coming out ahead of the curve.
Oh man, they don't convert. I don't know why. I thought he had 4 hits there for a minute. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts a lot. So he's got a really good play he can make right here for Nick if he chooses to. I don't know if he sees it. Probably not. But he could terrain scope that green unit leader, and that'll prevent them from wounding that without moving. I think it'll be like the biggest power play. I guess it makes sense. Hot take.
Alright, we're going to see Boba Fett activate here.
ping. Oh, you better be shooting boss.
That is his best bet. If he goes after Veers to try and get the victory point, I think that's a mistake. I think right now, well, it is only turn 4. I think this Vaporator is going to slip out of his hands no matter what. I don't think, well, it's tough because he needs that victory point. However, I don't see him being able to do much with it regardless.
So he could next turn kill Red with Boba Fett and then move him in there to base contact with the objective.
Yep. Rolling out, getting only 2. T-shirt saves.
Does he not have Hunter?
No, gone. Bosk is dead.
He does have
Sadly, no bounty on Bosk, though. Bosk really not doing a lot. I guess early he did. He took care of the Death Troopers very well.
Yeah. No, that was a good trade. But Sploosh could have been safer with him. So he's going to shoot at Snow. Not he's activating Red.
Yep. Likely taking shots at the Flame Troopers. 2 hits, trying to get that third. Nope, just 2 hits. However, in the open with suppression, they're going to take 1. Ooh, and blocked it.
Block. Okay. Still there. The Veer's gun could do some damage to them still. Although, honestly, he should be running away with Veers at this point.
Alright. Back to orange. I think they shoot at green. You need to take them off that objective.
Yes.
They need to clear that suppression and likely move towards it and fire.
I wouldn't want to leave him in the open, but if you move forward, you're going to expose them to those snipers that haven't activated yet, and you really have to preserve all of your minis of your HE right now, because he is definitely far behind. Death cannon here. Oh, and he clears it, so he'll get an aim. Potentially. Or a move. Green is in the open to them. So
Yep. I think you need to move to try and get back there. Because you got to do something about that Vaporator. Oh, and he's retreating away. No. Aim and fire or move towards it.
What are you doing, buddy? He might give up on that and go all in on this Vaporator over here by Sploosh. I don't know if that's a good call, but it's probably what he's doing.
I feel like this is like the game costing mistake right here.
I don't know yet. I'll be curious to see how this plays out. If he just abandons this one to green, man, it's an interesting call. I think the bigger issue is that he's abandoned Krennic over here with Boba Fett. He's going after the sniper, so he'll get 2 white, 2 red.
Yep.
I'm really hoping for crits here. And he gets 2.
There you go,
Wow,
2 crits. That is deadly.
Okay.
Oh, one of them saved.
So the sniper.
He really needed that double kill.
Sniper's had good rolls tonight. Naked squad in the back. Gold bands up the middle. And need to take a dodge. Not sure what to do. No. What is this? Pink is activating and shooting green.
Looks like the save was failed there.
They do have 45 minutes left, so they might be rushing their plays a little bit now.
There's Bosk's token.
Rip.
Drawing another trooper unit. I believe Blue? Yeah, Blue hasn't activated. Yeah, it's only turn 4. There's no need to rush things. However, I believe AG's back is still against the wall.
Yep, definitely is. They don't clear it. Look at one activation. Be surprised if he shoots the snows. Actually, one thing to be careful of here is these snows are not within range of Krennic, so the suppression matters. They could panic. Not this turn, obviously, because I've already activated, but next turn. Is he going to charge both?
Both whipcords have in fact been used.
Nope. Okay, he is. He's shooting the snows. Yeah, suppression matters a lot here.
Alright.
3 hits.
Yep. One being removed because of the suppression, so 2 coming in. Ouch! Another snow goes down. This keeps fluctuating back and forth in my mind as to what the possibilities are, but I mean, again, with the objective being in green stormtroopers' hands, I don't know what possibility you have. Krennic needs to move out and shoot at green. Running away is going to do him no good whatsoever.
He needs to terrain scope this unit leader right here.
Yep, and he has the perfect opportunity right now, and he's moving away.
Oh, no. I guess he wants to get in range of the snows to protect them. I don't know if he can do it, though. The more I think about it, transcoping that guy might be greedy to stay there and linger. He might be having a little bit of tunnel vision right now. I'm splooshing.
Alright, Veer's activating now. I say use him to take shots at the snows. Why not? Mop up. Or Boba, but I don't think you're going to do enough to Boba.
Yeah, it's kind of the same issue. Really, I think Fierce needs to be out of here. Fierce has a bounty on him. That is one path to victory for if he manages to fix this objective. But Sploosh is nothing if he's not aggressive. So he's gonna take some shots.
Alright, here we go, and there you go. That's what you expect. Sniping out one of the snowtroopers.
I don't think he has line of sight for the snows.
He did the commander.
Oh, okay. Just the okay.
Or the whatever one that was. Sniper is now activating. I suppose they're moving into cover and going to shoot something. They literally have nothing to shoot at where they currently are at. I suppose you close the distance.
I don't know why you put him there. There you go, Sploosh. Next sniper going. AG is out of activations at this point, so we see Sploosh finishing up his hand. Okay, and they're going to be coming down.
Moving the snipers down. They're going to have to roll to do that.
Yep. Could use both activations.
Yeah, he just used both activations to climb as opposed to clamber. Alright, into the 5th turn. Card-wise, I'm not even sure. Oh, Flame Projector and Rocket. I suppose Boba Fett's going to now try and hunt down Veer or Krennic, maybe?
He's gonna have trouble getting a shot. There's no really good angles there. Might just pick off that last sniper squad. Probably a good idea. Jeez. Okay. They're indicating sniper. Okay, he's gonna split fire. Flame, 4-man squad, and card. Gets it, sniper will die. 4 in blue. We see 4 hits. 4 natural hits there. I don't believe he aimed. 2 dead. Unit leader left, and a medical droid. And this will allow him to move into contact with the objective. Or did he? I guess.
Alright. Guess we're going to see... I agree with Hoff. He really should have went after red.
Here to be discussing something.
They might be debating what even the point is.
Okay, he did. He does have a second action. Maybe picking him up. Okay, yep, sure enough. He didn't aim, so he will have a second action.
Yep, and just moves, I'm assuming, behind the cover?
On top of it. Okay. Yeah, there's not much that can threaten him. I just don't know why he would go there as opposed to threatening the objective. Just as I predicted, he's gonna go and polish off this sniper team. Oh, and he's splitting fire again. So, he's not giving up on pink over here. Carbine will be on pink, and we'll see the rocket on snipers. And he whiffs. Pink lives.
That is very surprising. I cannot believe that. Rocket coming out, and gets a lot more hits with that one. Making up for his complete whiff.
No Pierce on this.
Correct, just blast. But against his target, you're better off shooting the rocket there because white saves are weak. So, taking out another activation, all snipers are gone. Now down to very little left. Krennic going to activate. But no real thing he can do. Besides, again, I think that he missed the opportunity firing at green when he needed to.
Well, he will be able to move across here. And, oh man, he's going to be in the open though to all those snipers. It's double. And that'll put that snow within his command bubble, so there's less chance of panic. At this point, he has given up on red and pink though. Green is going to try to kill the elusive pink. technically pink has heavy cover here.
Yeah, because you're going to be drawing line of sight through that crate for the commander. And a singular hit, so it should just be suppression. Yep, they called it that way correctly.
Good catch.
Alright, so, pink still needs to activate, red still needs to activate. There's plenty of options over on that side of the board, whereas Boba Fett and green have already activated and done. In the grand scheme of things, not a lot to that area, but again, they still hold the objective, which is the key thing.
Yep, that is the important part, is that objective. Let's do a little suppression. Oh, no, he's going orange. Okay. Overlapping a little bit with the Snowtrooper. He is in base contact with the cliff, or he could be, which would allow him to negate any cover that those units have from the cliff, because you can't get cover from options. We'll see who he elects to shoot. Okay, he's
Alright, firing orange at Veers.
Veers.
He's only going to have those 3.
Yep, Veers will have heavy cover because in this case there's no line of sight from the
Correct, and a singular hit means just a suppression on Veers. I think he was better off aiming and firing at either blue or red there. I think firing at Veers was a mistake, again.
Absolutely.
Sploosh very much has this in hand, Kingsley. I'm pretty confident in that.
It looks like Veers. Oh. Maybe? Deciding. Okay. It's almost as if he is taunting AG with Veers.
Firing and getting...
Crit on the snow is...
Yep, removing that one snow. That snow is now gone.
Yeah, so that'll leave him with 1, 2...
Unable to move him off the table, now he is. Down to whopping 1, 2 activations. 3, 4, technically. This game is firmly in Sploosh's hands. I don't know what possibilities AG has left. I don't even know if there is any.
With 1 turn remaining, I don't believe there is. Because he is going to completely repair that Vaporator. And that'll give him a full...
I think they might be discussing that right now by the looks of it.
Boba have to maybe split fire, kill both those units to make room for only orange can get to it and do anything.
Yep.
Yeah, this is game.
Yeah. There we go. And calling it in place. It was a good game, but yeah, I think it quickly tumbled into Sploosh's hands. There were some opportunities to bring it back, but clearly not enough, quick enough. And AG, I just think, didn't see it because he was too worried.
Yeah, and he did get punished eventually there for having his armies. His forces had been combined. He could have kept him off of that Vaporator.
Yeah, I think Vaporator placement made a huge to-do.
That too. The Vaporators are a little too spread out.
Yeah, it's, I think he should have placed one of the Vaporators back towards the rocks, back in his corner. And the Vaporator where it currently is, I guess is better than nothing, but I would have liked to see it maybe on the hill. Because then it would have been really protected.
You always have to be careful placing things on hills, because people can shoot you when you're up there. Even
That
if
is-
you have heavy.
That is true.
It's better to have things in behind line of sight blocking when possible.
Alright, so with that, AG will fall, Sploosh will move on. That might have broke some people's brackets, maybe not. Coming up next, as I pull this up, we have the Twish versus Ripamaster Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern. That's going to be hosted by Zyconia or Nerfly. Then we have Stevens, you, versus Who Kicked My Dog Friday, 7 p.m. And that still needs a streamer. We're trying to figure that one out. We have Jesus. Why do I screw up with difficult but yet easy names? Mbueha versus Beefcake, Saturday at 10 o'clock, also at night. Reha will be hosting that one. Ooh, I have these backwards. Finn versus OSU Cuban, fighting Saturday at noon Eastern. Still need a streamer from that. And me versus Hoff, Sunday, 10 a.m. Kingsley will be streaming that one. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow us and all the other channels I mentioned for more Legion content. And I look forward to bringing you the next game. Saturday, I will be unavailable because I'll be playing Legion for realsies down in DC, likely with Orchimedes. And yeah, I will...
you going down to the tournament? I'll
Yep.
be there.
Oh, you're going to be there too? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're up in Owings Mills area.
Yeah, like Anne Arundel, Boonton.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I'm in Canton, so I'll see you there for sure.
Cool. Yeah.
Look for the crazy dude with a Death Trooper helmet. That will be me. And my 501st jersey of some sort. But anyway, thank you, everybody. Wish us luck in the tournament down there. There's the train. So I will catch you all next time. Thanks for coming out.